Hello everyone, welcome back to my classes on retail promotion. Our today's topic is importance of retail advertising. I am Priyanka Majumdar, your course trainer from Retail Services Northeast Skill Center. Our lesson objective of today's class is first to explain the importance of retail advertising. Second is explain the advantage and disadvantage of advertising. Now let's discuss about what is advertising. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation or promotion of ideas, of goods or services by identified sponsor. Advertising is a marketing communication that employs an openly sponsored, non-personal message to promote or sell a product or service or idea. Sponsors of advertising are typically business wishing to promote their product or services. Now let's discuss how advertising can be effective. Advertising can be effective when it reaches its potential customers and informs them of the product or services. Ideally, advertising should capture the prospective customer attention and enroll them to use your product. First, advertising can be effective with good planning, time, great advertising media and sufficient budget. So you should have proper planning of time and you should have a great advertising media, where this can be print media, it can be audio visual, it can be digital advertising, and you should have sufficient budget for it. Second is bring shoppers into store during a specific period of time. When we do advertising during some specific period, like during festivals, during occasions, during offers, so you have to choose the specific period of time for your advertising to be effective. Second is customers are constantly reminded to shop with the retailer. Your advertising will be effective if it is reminded your customer to shop to your retail outlet. Traffic in the shop will strengthen over time. You can say that your advertising is effective when you get a highest number of footfall by your promotional method or by your advertising. Now we will see some of the objective why the retailer resort for advertisement among all the promotional tools. First is communicate sales promotion. A retailer, if he wants to communicate his sales promotion like end of the season sale or discount or any coupons, he or she should go for advertisement, because advertisement can create a large pool of audience for your product or service. Increase store brand awareness. We have discussed in our previous classes also that to create a brand awareness, you should always resort to advertisement, because advertisement will cater a large pool of audience, as we have discussed in our first point. So if you want to target a huge audience, you should go for advertisement to create loyalty or brand awareness about your product. Inform customer of current or new product features or benefits. You have modified your product, and if you want to make your customer aware of that modification or the feature or some new benefits of the product, then you should always go for advertisement. Create and communicate store image and personality. As a method of pull marketing, you can use advertisement as a way of creating an image of your store or product or service amongst your target audience. As much as you advertise your product, this will create an image of your product or store or your service amongst a customer. Build customer loyalty for a brand or store. You can bring customer loyalty to your store or towards your store through advertisement. Customers are loyal to the brand who advertise their product. Now we have to look after the advantages of advertising. Our first advantage is it reaches the mass of geographically dispersed buyers at a lower cost per exposure. It also enables the seller to repeat the message many times. We can see the TV advertisement lots of time, but the cost per unit or cost per exposure is very less as compared to any kind of advertisement, whether it is in print media or we can resort for brochures, flyers, etc. Second is get the retailer's message out to his large market. As we have already told that advertisement always cater the needs of a large target audience. So without advertising, retailer lack the tool of communicate and influence target population in the shortest time. A advertisement with audio-visual travels fast through your target market. Third is due to advertising public nature, consumer tends to view advertised product as more legitimate. People think that the product which are advertised amongst the customer, they are more beneficial or they have more legitimate holding in the market. Like detox in as little as much 60 minutes. Because after advertising, you can make aware of your product benefits. So when customer knows about the benefit of the product, so they will believe in your product. So it will ultimately create an image of your product or service amongst the customers or amongst the audience. This dramatizes a company through the artful use of visuals, print, sound, color, impressing potential customers. When you are advertising a product with good quality of visuals or print, or when you use the perfect combination of sound and color, it will obviously impress your audience. So audience can be impressed with this kind of advertisement. Let's see a video on this in our next slide. It can also use to build up a long-term image of your product. The more you see the advertisement regarding the product, the more you retain the knowledge regarding the product. So this is the tool actually used by the retailers. In this next slide, we'll see about the ad which is created impact on audience mind. So let's see the video in our next slide.
This aisle isn't big enough for 2 zeros.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better.
No, you can.
Yes, I can.
No, you can.
Yes, I can.
No, you can.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you. Any note you can reach, I can go higher.
I can sing anything higher than you.
No, you can.
Yes, I can.
No,
yes,
you can.
Is that all you got?
I'm up to my knees in 0 calories. Pepsi to the max, so let's drink all of these.
What's Snoop doing here? We're tight.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Pepsi Max.
In this, as we can see, the first is it is impersonal and cannot be easily or directly persuasive as salesperson to effect an immediate sale. So it is not like the personal selling because it is always a large audience. 2. Can carry only one-way communication with the audience, and the audience does not feel that it has to pay attention or to respond. So there is no another way to find out whether your audience has been responded to your advertisement or not, because advertisement of this kind is always one-way communication. So there is no such system of feedback. Third is it can be very costly, such advertising require very large budget. We already know that for a small advertisement in a newspaper like Assam Tribune or such, that we cost 2,500 or to 5,000 to lakhs of rupees. So it is actually very costly affair. So now let's recap. First, we have discussed what is advertising. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods or services by identified sponsor. Second, we have discussed about effectiveness of advertising. How advertising can be effective. Bring shoppers into the store during a specific period. Customers are constantly reminded to shop with the retailer. Traffic in the shop will strengthen over time. After that, we have discussed about the objective of retail advertisement. First is to communicate sales promotion. Second is to increase store or brand awareness. Third is to inform the customer of the current and new product feature or the benefit. To create a communicate store image or personality, build customer loyalty for a brand or store. The advantages we have discussed that it reaches mass of geographically dispersed buyers at low cost per exposure, gets the retailer message out to its target market, advertise product as more legitimate, dramatizes a company's product impressing potential customers, build up a long-term image of brand or the product or the store. Impersonal, not as directly persuasive as personal selling, it comes under disadvantages. One-way communication with audience as there is no feedback, can be very costly, requiring large budget. So this is all about our today's class. Regarding any doubts and queries, you can call me, you can text me in my number, that is 8474077687. Stay home, save lives. Thank you once again.